Hello and welcome back to Factorio. If you weren't here last time, we've been doing some stuff. Stuff such as... Oh, you'll lose the speed boost when you're flying. How interesting. Yeah, if you weren't aware... Oh, So yeah, if you weren't aware what I was doing last time, we, are upcycling this stuff. Kind of waiting on this research. Oh, we should switch to this before the Gleba science rots. I'm gonna explore some of the map, and then we'll get into future plans. So I want to do Prometheum research. I think that is obvious. Part of the reason why I need to do, like, have a bunch of Legendary 3 modules is, well, for the simple fact that I need some high-quality, like, grabber arms, high-quality rocket launches, high-quality this, high-quality that. And once we have that, we can go to... space. Or I guess we can go to the Shattered Planet. And once we are at the Shattered Planet, then we can actually, you know, do all of the things we want to do. We can get a bunch of Prometheum. I'll modify the Edge ship significantly, probably. Or I'll probably just make another one. I'll see. The idea is to take the, like, ship design, fix up the problems it had, use higher quality stuff, generally, you know, make better use of our systems, and, try to use, like, belt weaving to get a bunch of Prometheum on there. And, you know, once that's done, like usual, we'll just kinda fly back, and that's about it, you know. We'll fly back with the Prometheum, we'll park in orbit, then we'll have to request the biter eggs, which is annoying, but whatever. And then the biter eggs are gonna be, like, turned into... yeah. Does this require an atmosphere? Yeah. Well, yeah, we can't place this on a spaceship, right? Aww. Because what I could do, obviously I can't, yeah, because there's no air, but it would be nice if there was, like, an incinerator so I could destroy the biter eggs after enough time passed, but the developers thought about it and realized it would be maybe a little bit too OP. That's dead. Okay. Why? Are we truly... Okay, let's go to Novis. Huh, yeah. Whatever. Yeah, we're gonna have to, like... wait a bit to, get this researched, but, once we do, it'll be of great help. Oh, we should, I'm gonna make a quick little mole assembler for, Roboports, because we don't have one. But yeah, it is nice finally seeing the entire base function at a mostly peak capacity. Obviously not completely peak capacity, is it? Now there's too much steel? Ah, fuck this shit. I'm gonna come back and fix it later. Anyways, before I, go insane again, I mean, I know how to fix it. Just give me a moment, okay? We'll need this. I request you, and I request you. Then I'll go over here. Sure, why not? I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna remove that, actually. Then I'm gonna put this, like, over here. And I'm gonna do this. You already know what this is gonna be. I'm gonna request you gonna request you, and I'm gonna request you. Then I'm gonna build chests. And then once those chests are here, I'm gonna be building, like, the 3 chests that I'll actually use. Because why would I spend time building the ones that I know I won't use? Hello? Yeah, they're on the way. They're just slow about it. Yeah, whatever. I was thinking about, like, what would be a, like, relatively funny topic for the video. And I realized that there's not that much that I kind of want to talk about that, you know, daily. But there is some funny stuff. And one of them is regarding the dreaded console war, you know? You've probably heard about it. It was the personal Vietnam of at least one person. Point is, there's a lot of stuff, like, regarding, you know, console wars, and it is kind of funny. But generally speaking, console wars were, I said this earlier, they were mostly like an online thing. They weren't like something a lot of people bickered about in real life, at least like... Okay, it was like a playground thing back during the days of the Genesis in the US, but past that, it really wasn't that common to see. So yeah, point is, there are some people still, who even to this very day, will do, like, console war arguing online. And it is funny, don't get me wrong, it is funny. But, to be completely fair, also, it is a little bit, you know, sad. But, more importantly for me, and more importantly for why I wanted to say this, it is marginally funny watching people talk about console wars from the modern perspective. Especially how it was back then. I was thinking about making an entire series, going through stuff year by year. It's kind of, that's a lot of footage I need to capture, so, you know, it's a little bit on the back burner. But I had this idea of making a shorter video, basically going over how a lot of, like, retro gaming retrospectives don't care about the linearity of time. Okay, what I mean, when I say it that way, it sounds like they're committing some grave sin. What I'm talking about really is, sometimes when people talk about, like, the PS1, the N64, whatever, they talk about it in a way where the consoles are kind of, like, static. What I mean is, they are only ever seen in, like, the finished form. Whenever you look at the Nintendo 64, and whenever people think about, oh, well, why didn't this system sell as well as the PlayStation? What they'll often do, and this is not just true for, like, the N64, this is true when people look at every system that was, like, you know, to some degree dead in the water, like, you know, the fucking Saturn or PS Vita in the West, to a degree, the, obviously, like, the Wii U, etc., right? People will look at it and think to themselves, well, how could have this failed? But then they forget to consider that time moves forward, and time is the reason why. Because, like, if you walked into... Okay, what made me think about this first was there was this one old... Is it an older video? I forget. It was a Scott the Woz video, where the guy talked about, like, console launch titles. And what pissed me off was, just like, I remember seeing the video, and I think to myself, you know, the video's fine. But then, I saw people try to use it in arguments, talking about, like, which system had the better games. And then I saw people mention the launch titles, where, you know, the N64... launched with Mario 64. But you're making, like, a pretty big mistake there, which is assuming that, like, the launch titles are what sells the system. Which, I mean, it is true. Don't get me wrong. A system having good launch titles will interest a lot of people in the system, but it's not the be-all and end-all, as you've probably seen with, like, a lot of stuff. Really, it's about, like, the sort of pedigree, it's about the hype. The PlayStation was also a funny situation where it launched, like, you know, in the West, right? It launched, like, a year earlier. In Japan, it was, like, a year and a half earlier. What people forget to understand is by the time, I think I said this in a video ages ago, but, and this is something that I think at least one commenter took issue with. By the time the N64 came to market, it wasn't competing with the launch titles that the PS1 had. It was competing with, like, the entire library. That's a part of the reason why the PS3 had a harder time competing against the 360 early on. Not only was it harder to develop for, it was also, like, you know, new. So there were just less games out for it because developers had less time to make the system, and buyers had less time to buy the system, and, you know, therefore, publishers were less interested in making, you know, games for a system that wasn't even ready yet. And so therefore, you know, things happen. And what I'm trying to, you know, point out with this is that if you maybe can't tell, the launch titles didn't make or break the PS3 or the N64. It was, like, a lot of other stuff. Like, the N64 failed because even with the launch titles being as they were, it just didn't have the everything else to back it up. Like, sure, you have Mario, but, like, Mario, as influential as it was, wasn't really, you know, as important as many people like to assume it was. Like, Mario 64 was huge, granted, but so was, you know, Crash Bandicoot. And the thing is, you can argue, and I'd argue, that these obviously weren't, you know, the same game. They were quite different, in fact. However, that doesn't stop them from still kind of filling the same niche. That's the big difference between something like Crash Bandicoot, or, like, you know, alternatives like those, and something along the lines of, like, you know, a Atari Jaguar, you know, Cybermorph, or whatever. Very often you would see, like, oh, Sega made Virtua Racer. We have to quickly shit out Checkered Flag. You know, just make this really shitty, quick racer you make, like, in a fucking month, you know? And, the point is, the reason why the N64, like, shat the bed wasn't because of Mario 64, it was because of everything else. It was just the fact that Mario wasn't really enough in the grand scheme of things, you know? It was just... it was not really there. Like, there are a lot of... I remember there's a guy called Kaze Emanuel. You may have heard of him. He's, like, this guy who's one of the best ROM hackers for Mario 64. Problem being, a lot of the people who watch his videos aren't really... His videos are pretty digestible, but he suffers from a bit of a problem, which I like to call his videos are misinterpreted so often that it is kinda... You could make a career just correcting people who, like, don't understand what he says. He recently made a video talking about, like, essentially Mario 64's RAM usage. If you're not aware, Mario 64 is not the most optimized video game in the world. It was, like, basically one of the first games that Nintendo made, both in, like, C, the language, and also, like, you know, generally, like, in full 3D. And they made a lot of mistakes that are really understandable from, like, a developer perspective. To be clear, like, you know, the game obviously kind of ran like ass or whatever, but also the game's memory was really inefficiently organized. And that memory organization was basically what the entire video was about, explaining how the game could have actually, if it was designed more competently, like, this indie hit, you may have heard of it, Ocarina of Time. He actually uses it as a really good comparison point to, you know, Nintendo actually learning from the mistakes they made in Mario and, you know, improving on that. But generally speaking, there's there are just a lot of problems with the way people interpret a lot of his videos. One thing in the video that he did say that was kind of annoying was he mentioned about it running on, like, the PlayStation's 2 megabytes of RAM, which is... Well, the problem with what he said was that Kaze doesn't really have probably any PS1 experience just generally. So some of the stuff he said was just kind of, misinformed. One of the things which kind of is really annoying to me is people don't understand, like, people will assume stuff about the PS1 because it's just a lot more of a, you know, a lot more primitive of a console. The PS1 doesn't have any Z buffer. The PS1's GPU is purely 2D. So, like, what you have to do is very different. You have no Z buffer. There is no, like, you have to spend, like, 16 kilobytes of RAM on an ordering table, which does create some small issues, but whatever. You have to, like, you have 2 megabytes of main memory, but you also have a GPU that's, you know, you also have a GPU that's a whole 1 megabyte of RAM and another half megabyte for audio RAM. Also, and this is something that's really nice, the audio system has its own CPU, which basically means that whenever you are... Essentially, whenever you run into a situation where you need to... No, wait, I can do it over here. So basically, on the PS1, whenever the CPU is under full load, like whenever the game is lagging, due to that sound CPU, the music doesn't slow down. The music always runs at full speed. That is why, you know, the sound CPU is there. And part of the reason, I don't know if I ever mentioned it on my channel, but when I was talking with people who were, like, into, you know, retro stuff, I was asked why specifically, like, am I so interested in, like, this era of consoles, and the answer I gave was, a little bit confusing maybe for some of them, but it was, like, the actual legitimate reason. During this time in gaming, everything was so different, and Oh, that is gonna cause issues. Like, every single system, the PS1, the N64, the Saturn, and I guess also the other ones that nobody cares about, all of them did something a little bit different. All of them had different ideas, all of them were done differently for, like, you know, different reasons. The N64 was designed in its specific way because the developers wanted to have a system that was, you know, specifically doing that specific thing for a specific reason. It's not maybe the easiest to explain, but it's in many ways understandable, you know, why they did what they did. The PS1 was in many ways, like, a far less, like, sophisticated console, but in many other ways, it showed, like, signs of honestly fucking genius with how it was designed. You gotta keep in mind, you know, like, the PS1 has a far more primitive CPU, where it has, like, it has an extra unit inside of it designed so it can actually, like, render 3D properly, you know? It's a really interesting thing. Problem being, like, in many ways, the PS1 is really slow. And, like, you know, realistically, you can port something like Mario 64 to the PS1. You could port a lot of games, but it's also kind of disingenuous to say a lot of those games would be the same game. Especially with the homebrew. Like, you would not believe how, like, both the PS1 and N64, as some homebrew devs put it, could, like, and the Saturn, could barely do 3D. Like, yeah, they can do it, but, like, good luck. However, even so, like, a lot of the time, these systems are just good for fundamentally different things. The PS1 was designed in a very specific way to cater to, like, whatever Sony thought, you know, console gaming should be. And, kind of ended up winning if we consider sales a market success. But, you know, generally speaking, what you gotta realize is that at the end of the day, the real winner was probably the guy who was probably, like, the kid who got both that and also, like, the Saturn. But generally speaking, it's one of those things where you don't really have to choose anymore, you know? Here's a little hidden secret, which the French don't tell you about. A lot of console wars were actually not about who had, you know, the better system. They were about buyer's remorse, you know? They were about often kids who were just trying to, like, they were just, oftentimes the console wars were just kids arguing in the playground if, you know, the system which they got was cooler. Because you don't want to be the kid who got, like, the worst system, so obviously your system's better. Then there's, like, this whole fucking story. Then, you know, later on when Nintendo was really kind of shitting the bed. And even when they got popular, it's actually kind of interesting seeing how Nintendo's reputation changed. Like, they went from being on the top of the world, or I guess being considered that by the fans, to being this little, like, plucky underdog trying to, you know, still, you know, Unk's still got it. He's, you know, Nintendo is still doing stuff, and then later on it was like, oh yeah, guys, Nintendo's totally, you know, doing what they can. And, you know, it took time for Nintendo to get it back to its old reputation. But generally speaking, it's one of those things where... Oh. We are, like... I'm gonna destroy a little bit of the ice, just because I don't want to have, like, throughput issues. Yeah, but generally speaking, the issue with the N64, to me, is it's purely, like, a cultural one, you know? A lot of, like, the gaming discussions around, like, this stuff, it's very American-centric in a way that is really annoying if, like me, you aren't American. Because a lot of the time, like, you'll see people talk about... Like, you've seen it a lot of the time. I am very thankful for, like, the 5 Nintendotubers who've gone out of their way to, dispel a lot of the, like, annoying, like, myths which people say about, like, you know, the video game crash and such. It's nice to see people actually know that it was just a US thing, because holy shit, the amount of times I've seen, like, you know, if you ever watched, like, an old AVGN video where he talks about, like, you know, oh, the video game crash, blah, 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 now, YouTubers are actually like, ah, the video game crash, something which was, fun fact, only in America, you know, it's nice, finally, you know? They're not just saying stuff, they're doing a tiny bit of research. And then it's like, you know, on one hand, I would love it if they would do more research, but on the other hand, it's like, a lot of the time, people don't really care for accuracy that much. It's one of those things where, as stupid as it sounds, most people just want to hear, like, the interesting, you know, Nintendo stuff. It's not about who has the most accurate information. It's about who's the most entertaining, and in that respect, well, the Scott the Woz video was definitely more entertaining than a guy slowly explaining the truth of the matter. Even if we know which one's more accurate. You know what I mean. It's gonna be done by next episode. What about you? Oh, research is going, for now. I wish it would have warned me. Oh, research is falling. Yeah, there's still a bit of... there are still, like, a few science packs going through. It's gonna be fine, maybe. There's just a big burst of research with Gleba science, and then it's just done. GTS is still parked here, waiting. Which means we should be getting more of it, right? Actually, yeah, on the way another 1,000. I do like how now it's slowly leveling off. Yeah, science is still happening. Whatever. It's fine. Man, I really need to rehab the Gleba base. Okay. I do like how this looks. Looks like a bit like an actual circuit or something. That's kind of the main thing I like. I like it when a base kind of looks like you're looking at a CPU, you know? Anyways, now that this is... we've spent a bunch of time talking and building, let's check up on the, you know, stuff up there. Out of curiosity, how are we... oh, we aren't pulling anything. It's fine. Oh my god! 3 legendary ones! Plus 25 almost! Man, oh my goodness. Soon, we are not even gonna have to, like, bother with level 4s. We will just be able to immediately deconstruct them, dude. Holy shit. Man, it is... we are getting so close. Now, look at this. 25% basically. Come on. You have 25% a chance that you will output something good. See, already, level 4. Not ready yet. I'm gonna just... oh. Oh, that's annoying. What about... whatever. Oh, look! Another one, another one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're making more. What about now? Ooh, that's just another level 3. Oh, but the next one. Oh, the next one. I can feel it in my bones. See? Oh, yeah, right. We should also, block this off for now. Oh, that was just a normal one. Man. Who knew gambling would go this hard? And we have 2 more. Hell yeah. We only need a few more, actually. That's the crazy part. Okay, yeah. I've also blocked this off because, actually, I don't need to, really. I don't know. It's... huh. Actually, no. I'll just have to use a stack size of 1 for both of you. Oi. I'm gonna have to copy you and paste you. Okay, we fixed it. Okay. So that should work now. Oi. Okay, yeah. And still not... Oh. Oh, we got 2 more? From where? Normal one into a normal one. Seriously? Come on, this one's gonna be a rare one. I bet you this... No, it's a normal one. Okay, well, what about the next one? The next one's surely gonna be something special, right? The next one's gonna be something cool. Acceptable trade, acceptable trade. Oh, but the next one, ooh, this one's a rare one, which means it's gonna come out legendary, right? A normal one. It's, is this how people watch, like, gambling streamers? Kind of crazy that that exists. But, like... nobody wants to do anything about it. Oh, that one's gonna be legendary. Nope. Oh, yeah, still a normal one down here. What about up here? We gotta get something special, right? We're gonna get truly something special now. What about down... Ooh, we did get something special. I think that it was from maybe one of those as well. I don't even know. A shame. But look at this. We're getting these guys. Now this one. Oh, this one has 23%. This has to be something cool. It isn't. Fuck. I'm gonna... Yeah. Why not? I'm gonna do this. Just so it doesn't clog up this belt like it is over here. Whatever. Oh, because I'm stupid and... Yeah. Well, whatever. There should be, like... Yeah, one of you in there. Actually, no. You are missing everything. So I'll get you to work. No, wait. You're still missing one of those. Whatever. This guy's working, though. We don't have any extra... Not yet. Sadly, this guy is eating those ones. I don't know why. Oh, this one. Oh, this one's gonna be something special. I can feel it in my bones. Watch it. Watch it. It's gonna be something cool. I mean, it is an upcycle. Maybe not that special, but, you know, it's still cool. Why are you still doing the normal ones? There we go, he's doing the special ones now again. Watch this. This one's gonna be legendary. See, I told you it works. Oh, what do you mean I'm not cool? All the Redditors call me king. See? But yeah, man, ooh, this is gonna last, like, a while before anything happens. I'm gonna move you up here. Yeah, that should, yeah, for all of the people with OCD, that should help. And for me, I'm gonna have to dump all of these out. There we go. And are we going to be rewarded for our efforts? No. Okay, well, how is everything else doing? This is dead. GTS is coming back. We can use this time to do that. Okay. How is this doing? Is anything clogged? No. Nothing is clogged for once. Whew. This is running at a... basically full power. Some of these aren't being fully fed, but like... it's okay. I will have to add more capacity. Whatever. What is over here? Everything else is fine. What about the Edge ship? The Edge ship is mighty bored over here. With 500 in. Aquilo and the ATS are kind of bored. This is going really slowly. ES, can you come back? Just in case I'll need you for something. My idea for the actual Edge ship is to, like, basically, okay, take this portion, sorry, like, take this portion, move it down over here, and have a bunch of belts then. And, I think an issue we had was that the rockets were too weak. But, that's kind of what this stuff is for. Actually, we can do this, so I can show you, yeah. This is, I'll just show it. The railguns are really cool. Especially because of their range, and because they hit everything beyond that. I'll turn them off now, because there's no point in wasting railgun ammo. But yeah, what's also kind of cool is that, the gun turrets are way stronger now. Look at the damage dealt. Jesus. Like, when the medium, yeah, comes in, it'll get obliterated. And that is, yeah, if you look at, like, so what you have to do is you have to go into the space map. You have to, like, click on this, and you have to look at the Prometheum asteroids. So, the huge one is only vulnerable. As you can see, it has 10,000 health and 3,000 physical resistance. This means that when you do 3,000 damage, you do 0 damage. 3,001 is 1 damage. 3,002 is 2 damage, and so on and so forth. Which means that in order to, if you go through the other ones, the big chunk... Yeah, ooh, the big chunk still needs me to do 2,000 physical damage. Though it is also vulnerable to, And this guy, and this, yeah. And these guys are just vulnerable to guns. Same with these, yeah. All of these are the same, right? Yeah. Except the fact that the Prometheum ones have way more health. Oh, I can do Prometheum asteroid chunk percent. Why? Whatever. So that's kind of the idea. The idea is we need, like, a total of 3,000 damage. And when we look at this over here, we'll see, as we go on further, we basically only have small asteroid chunks at a tiny amount, but these guys increase by a lot. You see, even at 800k, we have, like, several hundred per minute compared to over here, where at most, we are getting, like, from the huge chunks, 8 or 10 per minute. It is, like, an absolutely insane amount of these guys. And we just have to fill up on Prometheum. And then we'll turn back. That's kind of the idea. More legendary ones. Yes. So now those are, like... Actually, oh, this marks a special occasion. Which is we don't have to... Because everything here is now rare or higher. We no longer actually need to recycle anything that isn't legendary. Or I guess, yeah, there's no point in recycling the legendary ones. So what we'll be doing from now on is we'll be recycling everything, including epic ones, with the end goal of repeating this again and again and again and again and again, until we just fill up all of this on legendaries, and then finally, we may be able to do other stuff. But that is going to take a while. So we'll leave it be for now. Now, how is this doing? Everything here is full, actually, so we'll just let it be. This is going fine, but this should have... Yeah, it's continuing for a little bit. Come on, man, okay. It is kind of funny watching these go just really slowly. Being recycled. What's funny is, yeah, these guys aren't being recycled much at all, but they are being recycled a tiny bit. This is so huge for our power production because, like, it smooths out this graph by so much when we're pulling... keep in mind, these guys could only produce 234 megawatts, and, like, these guys are... now that it's becoming, you know, night again... Now, oh yeah, no, these are actually producing a max of 384. Oops. Now these guys are just gonna be maxing out, like, their stuff. What's kind of interesting, though, is that right now, when we go into nightfall, yeah, the steam engines will automatically shut off, which means they're not using steam, which means that these guys aren't losing any power. Purely so we can, yeah. This steam upgrade is so huge because we don't really have to rely on just the batteries. I mean, you can see, this is before we got the battery bank. This is how it is now. It's crazy. Please tell me there's another one. Nope. It's doing normal ones again. Whatever. What do we do next? I'm gonna say we're done with this planet for now. Because we've already finished most of the things we need to do. Obviously, there's other stuff I'd love to do, but there's only so much I can do. And at this point in time, we've only done most of it, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toss all of this, like, into... back into here. I don't actually... Does the Edge ship have any prod 3s? Because we'll need prod 3s and speed... No. So I'm gonna throw all of my stuff into a chest, this time over here, so that I actually, like, can spawn next to my stuff. I'm going to go to the Edge ship. Oh, and I can't because I had this enabled. Take it away from me now. Fuck's sake, where are they? Okay, I'm just gonna manually... Okay. Now, travel to the Edge ship, please. Can I do this and have them deliver it to me now? Hopefully not. Would be funny, but... whatever. Look at this, and then as I fly up... Oh, I'm gone. Oh, now I'm fully gone. Oh, never mind, now I'm over here. Now that this is here, I am going to, Space Item Ferry. You are absolutely filled to the brim on 2s. I don't know why I did this. I'm gonna add a new group. I'm gonna request, let's do 300 prod 3s. So go to Novice. And then afterwards, you're gonna go to, Vulcanus and request, like... Yeah, like, we'll do, like, a 500 speed 3s. Oh, yeah, and I forgot to tell you, go to Gleba. What's funny is Platform Beta is still parked in Gleba orbit. For those who don't remember Platform Gleba, this is it's just carrying laser turrets to Gleba now, but this was... So Platform Alpha was the first platform that, I successfully used to, like, gather space signs, and Platform Beta was the first ship which actually traveled to, like, Vulcanus and stuff. Then I made the Vulcanus transfer ship, blah, blah, blah. But this was kind of the first ship, and, it really shows, doesn't it? It's, very shitty, so, here it is. Also, holy shit, it is crazy how, like, yeah, it is so much faster than it was before in terms of, like, how quickly it shoots stuff down, including stuff here. Like, look at this. So we're gonna be dropping to Gleba soon, and we can watch ourselves fly, because Gleba isn't a place I've usually spent that much time on, because it's no secret, it is my least favorite planet, mainly because it sucks. In other news, and I know this is not gonna matter for you, but it is gonna matter for me, I fixed, half-fixed, semi-fixed my sleep schedule. The way I woke up is not something I would want. But do you ever have that dream? This is always how, like, this is gonna be like the start to an SCP thing, right? Like, do you see this man in your dreams? Well, I've had a recurring dream multiple times. It wasn't a man or woman, sadly. Have I ever had... I guess I've had, like, recurring people in my dreams, but they're, like, my family. Really, or whatever. I can't remember most of my dreams, but there's this specific creepy one that I had twice now, which is weird it happened twice. Okay. So, picture this. I have a dream that kinda sucks, you know? I'm kind of unhappy with it. So then I wake up. Or do I? Ooh, scary. So the dream functions kind of like this. I awaken, but I don't really awaken. I am awake, but not actually awake. I am still dreaming, but I am awake. I feel like I've woken up. And, it's not that scary, like, honestly. The creepy part starts with what happens immediately after, because last time it happened, sorry, the first time it happened, I was kind of stumped. The second time it happened, I reddited my way out of it immediately, and I was pissed off, though it did help me wake up a little bit earlier than I wanted to, so that's nice. Anyways, so the way it starts is I wake up, I'm in my bed, everything is just going fine, right? And then something happens or whatever, there is something in the doorway, uh-oh. Or, well, not something in the doorway, but I feel like there's something in a doorway. There may be a shadow, there's never... The first time, it was like a shadow thingy. The second time, it was like literal, like, you know, a shadowy entity. This time it was literally a fucking shadow. And then, I try to wake up. So now I try to wake up. I try to... I don't get out of bed, right? Instead, I try to, obviously, if there's something in the hallway, I'll turn the light on and see what it is. Or I guess in the living room, because my bedroom is immediately, you know, next to the living room. Anyways, so I try to turn on the light, like my bedside lamp. That doesn't work. Now, because of the way my, like, lights are set up, I have two light switches essentially next to my bed. One of them is for, like, the big light, because my room has two lights that are both individually actuated. I don't know why either. And essentially, when I do that... Oh, this is having the exact same problems as these guys had. Okay, I'll have to fix that. Anyways, yeah, so I try to get up. Sorry, I don't try to get up at all. Instead, I can feel like there's, you know, something there. I don't know what it is at this point. All I know is that there's something there and I can't do anything about it. So, what do? Think about this logically. What would you do? Well, in my case, I try the light. The light does not turn on. Like, at all. The light stays off. So, I try again. I try the other light. Also, can't turn on. So the first time, I look up, and I see, like, the shadowy thingy kind of above me, like, floating up there, I don't even know what the fuck it was. Humanoid in shape, I guess? And then, you know, that was the first time, so I screamed and woke up. Or I guess I didn't scream, I yelled at it. I specifically remember it wasn't actually like, oh my god, I'm scared, so I scream. It's more like, it was more like me screaming in fucking rage because I am maybe not the kind of person to be put in a horror movie. I will charge, like, I will charge the poop monster with, like, okay, but anyways, and then immediately, like, afterwards in the first dream, when you try to, I've noticed if you try to scream while dreaming, maybe this is just my experience, but you don't actually get to scream. And when I wasn't able to scream, the illusion breaks, and I wake up. So that was the first time. The second time was funnier because, you know, there was no entity. I immediately tried the light, doesn't work. Tried the other light, doesn't work. And I just fucking immediately just instinctively scream. I just instinctively scream and wake up because I was like, I remembered, oh, wait a minute, it's this again. Which feels really like Reddit. I don't know, maybe that's me using Reddit as like a derogatory term for like outsmarting the fucking dream. Maybe that's a me issue, but it feels Reddit to outsmart a dream. Oh, is that a voice crack? What am I, 5? No, but like seriously, it is so fucking funny to me that I can just out-Reddit a dream. And it's weird. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I can Reddit a dream, like out-Reddit a dream. But it happens, and you know what? I'll take it. I will fucking take me being able to out-Reddit a dream. Okay, so we'll be crafting, No. I wanna... Oh my god, I'm gonna go insane. We'll be crafting pentapod eggs. That's why I'll want a, full 16 this time. So what's gonna be funny is these are all gonna have prod 3s. Because we can do that. How many... Wait, do we have speed 3 modules in here still left over? We don't. We have 5. Oh, if I need it for something else, it's gonna be annoying. Sif, go... Oh, you only have 100. 100 on the way. Whatever. Okay, go to Gleba with 100 damage taken whenever you're able to. But yeah, it is kind of funny to call, like... Essentially, what, to be completely fair, is a nightmare, like a Reddit experience. Maybe that says more about me as a person and what I find, like, funny. Maybe it's the fact I find the nightmare funny that, explains why... That explains maybe my, both my sense of humor and my sense of horror. But it's kind of whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry, horror games were never that scary. Except in times when they were. Like, I'm sorry, horror games either don't, like, you know, they either don't make me flinch, or they make me too scared to play them, and there is no in between. Whenever a horror game accomplishes to scare me so much I don't want to play it, it deserves some kind of award, man. Like, it's genuinely, like, an award-winning thing. In my opinion, at least. But, like, holy shit. Do those dreams still feel uncomfortable, even if they are kind of funny to talk about? And I understand, like, there are, like, some dream people who will, like, tell me that, it's because you are trying to, suppress the thought that there is a malevolent entity. I don't know. I don't like those noises. At all. Mr. Gleba ambience. Oh, we have more cannons. I do want to piss off some big pentapods. Let's do it. Let's do it. Uh-oh. Ah, we're fine. Okay, what do we pick? Oh, that's why I didn't see them. They got blown up by artillery. I was wondering earlier, like, hold on a minute. Why did we never, like, you know, encounter... You know, I remember shooting at these guys in hopes of, getting to fight the big-ass pentapods, but then they never arrived, and I was like, you know, what's the holdup? Why aren't they here? Yeah, turns out I shredded them with my cannon. Oops! Sorry, Mr. Bug. From the famous video game Bug. How do we do this? I'll do this. Yeah, sure, whatever. Then we'll do that. Oh, we'll also need a lot of bioflux. Oh, open door. Oh, it's already spoiling on the way here. That's incredible. Oh, maybe this is just a spoilage on the belt. That is... Probably, yeah. Okay. Remove you. Place you back over here. I'm gonna, yeah, move this back to there and then like this. Oh, I have so many of them. That's annoying. Now let's try to not upset the base too much. As we all know, this is like the most temperamental base I have made in years. Hopefully we'll fix that, but, I mean, that's why we're here, but, you know. Oh, wait, we don't... No, we don't need that. That's for later. Oops. I'll have to remove these guys, then. Oops. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to do this. I'll have to then keep adding these in this kind of orientation. I'm basically just waiting for the efficiency 3 modules, because without them, I don't know the ratio, and without them, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Okay. Actually, Seth is here, which means pop those down. And go to Volk. And then immediately when you're done, go to Gleba. So they should be here now. Any moment now. Yeah. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so, now that I've added all of these into there, one of these will put out 0.15 per second. One of these puts out 0.42. 0.15 times 4 is 0.6, but remember, these guys will take it as input. So one of these, sorry, 0.15 minus, yeah, so it's going to be 0.15 minus 0.05 is a ratio, actually, of 0.1. But if you can see, that one's 3 to 1. Over here, 42 divided by 16, that is a 2.6. So actually 0.42 minus 0.16 times 4 is actually only about 1 per second. Over here, meanwhile, we have 16 times 0.1, and that's 1.6. But trust me, it's gonna be more efficient, maybe. I don't know. Actually, wait, do we have beacons? Why don't we have beacons? ES. Can you go to Fulgora and request, like, 100 beacons, please? I'll build with them in mind. Where is Fulgora? I click on the FTS. Come on. Where are my beacons? Just like in Minecraft. Officer, the beacons. Okay. So are we gonna be doing this without... I guess we are immediately gonna be doing the spoilage stuff here. But, yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit. Because we'll have to fit in the beacons somehow. How do we do this? Okay. Man, this isn't gonna fit properly. Ooh. Ooh, no, because we'll need to put everything on the same belt. On the same belt. I've got an idea. Don't worry. So we'll remove this completely. We'll then, oops, place this on the right of each of these. And what you're gonna see is gonna be just about the most brilliant piece of engineering that I've ever done. Which doesn't mean that much, considering my usual efforts, but here's the idea. So we'll split the belt half and half. Then we'll only accept the old ones over here. So this is essentially going to be the, No, wait. I'll have to do it somewhere else because we have to, you know, first build with the beacons in mind. Oh, we can maybe do it here because there's empty space over here. Yeah, I'll do that. So here's the idea. So we put a bunch of beacons here, like, you know, this. Oh, like that would be better, and then, yeah. And one more. Yeah. So then we can drag this down here. Okay. So we'll put this over here. Now, I'll just have copper and... yeah, we'll have some of these guys here for now. So we will only want to have copper come out. So yeah, we'll only want iron, sorry, to go through first. And then we'll want iron to... oh no. Wait a minute. Oh, if only we had some other ones. Because this is gonna have a little bit of leakage. And by leakage, I mean in the sense we're gonna have some angry bugs. Oops! Yeah. Huh. Where is... like... okay, we need some... oh, these are all copper rocks. I don't need copper, man. Okay. Here's the issue. These are gonna... but basically, here's the idea. Then we'll use this to, get the, other ones out. And then we'll do this so they're both on the same side of the belt, and then I'll put another one over here that is going to prefer the inner ones to the outer ones. Not only for the input, but for the output as well. This way, once this gets done, all of the old pentapod eggs that are gonna be going around in a circle will have priority, essentially. Which should mean, keyword being should, and that always ends well, doesn't it? But, keyword should, what should happen is when these guys go around, there will be, like, old pentapod eggs that are going around first, because remember that will refresh them later. And, then when they come to the other side, like this, I'll continuously, you know, do this in order to refresh them, sorry, in order to put them on the right side, and this way, this side of the belt will be fully reserved for the new ones, and the new ones will be introduced last, so that because of the way freshness works, only the freshest ones are going to be sent over to the other thing up there. Yeah. So that is the theory. Now the praxis will be maybe a little bit different. We'll see. And how is this working? This is just yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter what side of the belt that's on. Anyways, ES, you have enough. Come back to Gleba and throw out the ones you have. Sif, you have... How slow is this? Oh, it was requesting everything else first, of course. Because that's how the priority system works. On the way, 450. Yes, please. Then come back when you're done. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. I'll leave the actual end point of this for the next episode. I just sent spoilage through. Oh, it should be fine. But yeah, I'll see you next time when we do more Factorio, or should I say Cracktorio, because the game is so damn addictive. See you next time in Cracktorio, where we do more Factorio. Bye-bye.